7 people, 90 seconds. A 14-year-old girl shot in the face.
Gangster gets about as close to it as it can be.
A suburban swap meet turned into a battlefield. When the smoke lifted, the asphalt ran dark with blood. Screams echoed through the parking lot as men lay dying beside toppled bikes and twisted chrome. But this wasn't random violence. It was ritual, a message written in gunpowder and fear. Because in the outlaw biker world, nothing happens by accident. Every bullet is a sentence. Every death, a warning.
Mongols would say, howdy, how you doing? I want to become a Mongol.
They call them enforcers, the iron fists behind the patches. The men who carry the club's laws in their veins and make sure everyone else bleeds by them. Presidents might rule, but enforcers they command. They keep chaos contained through brutality.
Line 2 lines out on the table. Meth.
Crime Cipher takes you deep into that world. From California's dusty highways to Sydney's neon-lit backstreets, where men built empires from brotherhood and blood. These are not actors. These are not myths. These are the 10 most feared outlaw biker enforcers in history. The architects of intimidation, the sentinels of silence. Because in the biker underworld, order isn't written in ink. It's carved in scars. Number 10, Sonny Barger, the architect of fear. Before there were legends, there was Sonny Barger. Born in 1938 in Modesto, California, Barger didn't just ride with the Hells Angels. He created them as we know them. At 19, he formed the Oakland chapter, forged the Death's Head logo into an icon, and turned a local riding crew into an international brotherhood of fear. His childhood was stripped to bone, a mother who left, a father drowning in drink, a boy expelled from school for punching a teacher. He forged enlistment papers to join the army at 16, searching for structure in a world that had none. What he found instead was power through discipline, and violence as its language. By the late 1950s, Barger's Angels weren't just bikers. They were an organization, a system of ranks, patches, and silent codes. Every handshake had weight. Every member knew the cost of disobedience. In 1969, the Hells Angels were hired to provide security at the Rolling Stones' Altamont Free Concert, a moment meant to symbolize peace. When chaos broke out, a fan drew a gun. Angel Alan Passaro stabbed him to death live on camera. Barger himself allegedly leveled a pistol at Keith Richards, forcing the Stones to keep playing while the crowd screamed. Through murder trials, bomb conspiracies, and heroin trafficking charges, Sonny never flinched. Each arrest only deepened the mythology. The outlaw as general, the gang as army. When he died in 2022, the Angels mourned their godfather, but the world remembered the man who taught outlaw clubs how to rule. Because Sonny Barger didn't just build the Hells Angels, he engineered fear itself. Number 9, Peter Big Pete James, the king of the Midwest. Chicago, a city of smoke, steel, and blood. In the 1990s, biker warfare gripped its streets like a fever. The Hells Angels wanted in, but between them and the city's lucrative underworld stood one man, Peter Big Pete James. Massive in size, sharp in mind, James was no ordinary enforcer. He had learned the Angels' playbook from the inside, then defected to their rivals, the Outlaws. With insider knowledge and street-born cunning, he became Chicago's underground tactician. While other clubs fought loud wars, Big Pete waged quiet ones. He absorbed smaller gangs without firing a shot, built bridges with mafia crews, and turned the Outlaws into a Midwestern empire. He understood the balance of power. Fear was more efficient than bloodshed, and money outlived bullets. His rule was legendary. 2 decades of calculated dominance. Yet what made him infamous wasn't his violence, but his betrayal of silence. In 2017, Big Pete published a book, Breaking the Sacred Outlaw Code, to reveal the inner mechanics of the biker world. Some called him a traitor. Others called him the only man honest enough to speak. Never run a crime longer than 2 years, he once said. That's how long it takes them to build a case. He never went to prison. He outsmarted everyone. In the end, Big Pete James proved that the most feared weapon in the biker world isn't the gun. It's the man who knows when not to pull it. Number 8, William Jock Ross, the paramilitary commander. Before there were modern biker wars, there was a soldier who brought war home. William Jock Ross was born in 1943 in Glasgow's Rough Gorbals district, a place where fights were a currency and pride was the only thing you could afford. The British Army shaped him. Yemen and Libya hardened him. When he migrated to Australia, he didn't just start a motorcycle club. He founded the Comancheros and ran them like an infantry unit. Ross introduced military drills, uniforms, formations, and command hierarchies. Loyalty was law. Disobedience was treason. Members trained for combat, not just cruising. When the Knights MC challenged his authority in 1973, Ross led his men into a bush ambush, an operation that ended in shattered bones, spilled fuel, and permanent scars. His leadership was absolute until it fractured. In the early 1980s, a faction of the Comancheros split away, joining forces with the American Bandidos. Ross responded the only way a soldier knows. He declared war. September 2, 1984, Milperra, a Father's Day massacre. 7 dead, including a 14-year-old girl. Dozens wounded. The images of leather, smoke, and blood burned themselves into Australia's collective memory. Ross was sentenced to life, served just 5 years, and walked out still limping from that old ambush. But his legacy, his military obsession with control, reshaped the DNA of every club that followed. He turned biker brotherhood into battlefield order. William Jock Ross didn't just enforce rules. He wrote them in gunfire. Number 7, Alex Vella, the exiled millionaire who still rules the rebels. Some men earn power through violence. Others build it through patience. Alex Vella did both. Born in Malta in 1953, one of 11 children, Vella grew up in poverty so deep that childhood felt like labor. At 8, he was hauling buckets of water on construction sites just to help feed his family. When they moved to Australia in 1967, the boy who had nothing found a world of engines, leather, and rebellion. He joined the Rebels Motorcycle Club in 1972, a young man with the heart of a fighter. Boxing became his second language, business his third. Every punch in the ring mirrored his rise in the club. Every dollar he made in construction and property became another brick in his empire. By the 1990s, Alex Vella was no longer just an enforcer. He was a symbol, proof that outlaw loyalty could coexist with wealth, power, and a tailored suit. He owned properties, farms, motorbike import companies, all while maintaining control over one of the largest biker networks in the Southern Hemisphere. Between 2012 and 2013, over 700 Rebels members were charged with crimes ranging from assault to trafficking. Yet Vella, always calm behind mirrored sunglasses, insisted he was just a motorcycle enthusiast. He even won a $2.7 million lawsuit after a partner forged his signature, a rare victory in a world built on vengeance. Then, in 2014, while visiting Malta, the Australian government revoked his visa. He wasn't allowed to come home. His empire was still in Sydney. His brothers still rode. But the man who had built it all was trapped on an island thousands of miles away. And here's the twist: he still ruled. From afar, through loyalty, through fear, through legacy. Because power, when truly earned, doesn't vanish with distance. It echoes across oceans, through engines, down every road the rebels still own. Number 6, Alonso Big Al Alvarez, the Mongols' military foundation. If the Hells Angels were born in rebellion, the Mongols were born in rejection. In 1969, a group of Latino and Native American bikers in California were denied membership by the Angels.
A member of the Mongols biker gang has been arrested in connection with the murder of a rival gang member at an Ontario bar last month. A federal criminal complaint charges 51-year-old Clifford Lavoie of Montclair with assault resulting in serious bodily injury. He was ordered held without bail during his initial appearance this morning. Another Mongols member, 35-year-old Julian Pulido of Upland, is charged with murder. Prosecutors say the two violently beat a member of the Vagos, a rival motorcycle gang, before Pulido allegedly shot him several times in the back, and that victim died at the scene.
He trained the Mongols like soldiers. Formations, signals, tactical retreats. Every member had a role. Every mission, a plan. Under his shadow, The Mongols evolved from a street-level gang into a militarized brotherhood. Their war against the Hells Angels became one of the most violent rivalries in biker history. A skull and crossbones patch on a Mongol's vest allegedly meant one thing: they had killed for the club. And Big Al made sure the world understood that message. The Mongols expanded into an empire that stretched across America, powered by drug trafficking, weapon deals, and a militant sense of honor. In 2008, the FBI launched Operation Black Rain, a nationwide assault that saw over 100 members arrested. But the Mongol spirit didn't break. Big Al had built more than a club. He had created a doctrine. Today, from California to Europe, every Mongol chapter still follows the structure Alvarez designed. And that's what true enforcers do. They don't just rule in their time. They leave a blueprint for fear that survives them. Number 5, Colin Caesar Campbell, the Triple Club Warrior. Some enforcers are born into one brotherhood. Caesar belonged to 3. Colin Caesar Campbell began as a gladiator, a small-time club that lived and died on street respect. But he had ambition, fire, a hunger for more. He moved to the Comancheros, then later joined the Bandidos, a rare and dangerous transition that gave him a view from both sides of Australia's biker wars. He was there on that fateful Father's Day in 1984, the Milperra Massacre. The smell of gunpowder still haunts the air in his memories. He saw men he'd called brothers lying motionless on the ground. One of them, Bandido Gregory Shadow Campbell, took a bullet to the throat. Another, the vice president, was shot in the chest. 7 lives lost, 28 wounded. One photographer captured the chaos, forever freezing a moment that would define outlaw culture in Australia. Caesar was arrested, like nearly everyone involved, charged with murder, tried, and sentenced to 7 years in some of the harshest prisons the country had. But inside, he earned something you can't fake: respect. Even enemies nodded at his code: loyalty, courage, and truth. When he walked free, the world had changed. Clubs were different now, less brotherhood, more business. The rules he'd lived by were fading into legend. So he did something no one expected. He left. He wrote a book, Wrecking Crew, did a brutal, honest account of what it meant to live and kill for a patch. The club comes first, he wrote, even if it costs you everything. Caesar wasn't just an enforcer. He was a historian of violence. A man who survived 3 worlds, 3 loyalties, and the end of an era. And for that, his name rides on every road where the old code still means something. Number 4, Daniel the Beast Hubon, the Butcher of Bakersfield. There are men who use violence as a language, and there are men who make it their religion. Daniel Hubon was the latter. Born and raised in Bakersfield, California, Hubon was a street fighter before he was a biker. He joined the Vagos in the late 80s, a club already feared for its wildness. And within months, he earned his name, the Beast. No tattoos could capture it. It wasn't about art. It was about presence. Hubon was 6'4", 270 pounds of controlled rage. He didn't talk much.
A Tehachapi woman tonight is in jail on several gun charges and her connection to the Vagos outlaw motorcycle gang. Last Friday, Kern County Sheriff's deputies received reports of several Vagos gang members harassing customers at a business in Tehachapi. That led investigators to search the home of Angela Vasquez, where they found a firearm inside a Vagos vest. They also found another firearm hidden in a motorcycle, a fully automatic machine gun. Vasquez was arrested on several felony charges, including possession of firearms, child endangerment, and participating in a gang. Meantime, deputies are asking for your help in finding this man, Ulysses Navarrete, for his participation in the Vagos motorcycle gang. He's considered to be armed and dangerous. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to contact the sheriff's office at 861-3110, or you can remain anonymous by calling the secret witness hotline. That number is 322-4040.
Number 3, George Tattoo Christie, the philosopher of the angels. If the outlaw world had poets, George Christie was its philosopher king. He wasn't born brutal. He was born curious. A California surfer with a love for art, motorcycles, and rebellion. When he joined the Hells Angels in the 1970s, he brought something the club didn't expect: brains. He rose fast, became president of the Ventura chapter. For decades, he led men twice as ruthless, twice as wild, and somehow kept the peace between factions ready to explode. He was the diplomat in a kingdom of warlords. But Christie also saw what few dared to admit, that the outlaw life was eating itself. The violence, the power plays, the endless feuds. So he tried something unheard of. He wanted peace. He met with rival clubs, spoke at universities, even opened a tattoo parlor that doubled as an art gallery, blending rebellion with reflection. The old guard hated it. To them, he was soft. To the feds, he was dangerous, a man who could unite enemies with words. In 2011, he was arrested for conspiracy, spent a year in prison. When he got out, he walked away from the angels. His departure was the sound of thunder rolling away. Christie started telling his story. Books, documentaries, interviews, trying to explain what few could. The outlaw life isn't about crime, he said. It's about identity, brotherhood. But somewhere along the way, we forgot that. Today, George Christie rides alone. But in his solitude, he carries the weight of every man who ever wore the patch and wondered what it really meant. To David Slow Weathers, the Ghost Commander. In the South, legends don't need headlines. They just need whispers. David Slow Weathers was one of those whispers, a phantom among the outlaws' MC. No social media, no photos, just rumors and scars. They called him Slow because of how methodical he was, every move calculated, every job clean. He was the man you sent when silence was required, a tactician who treated violence like chess. From Tennessee to Florida, Slow ran enforcement for the outlaws during their bloody territorial wars with the Angels. He planned ambushes so perfect that police said they looked military. But the truth was darker. Slow had once been a Marine sniper. He took what he'd learned overseas and brought it home to the streets. In the 1990s, when the FBI targeted the outlaws under Operation Dismantle, Weathers was charged with conspiracy and murder for hire. But as always, there was never enough proof. Witnesses vanished. Evidence burned. Some said he fled to Mexico. Others claim he died in a shootout in Alabama. No one really knows. But his legend lingers. Because in the outlaw world, ghosts don't die, they just switch roads. Number 1, Anthony Taterhead Tate, the devil who wore a smile. Every empire needs its monster. For the Bandidos, that monster was Anthony Taterhead Tate. He joined in Texas, a state that breeds outlaws like steel breed sparks. Tate wasn't just violent, he was theatrical about it. He once said, "Pain's the only thing that makes you feel real." By the 2000s, Tate had become the enforcer everyone feared. He was behind extortion rings, drug routes, and dozens of unrecorded beatdowns that kept the Bandidos' name untouchable. Police called him a walking psychological weapon. In 2015, a biker gathering in Waco, Texas, ended in chaos. A shootout that left 9 dead and over 100 arrested. Tate's name surfaced in half the witness statements. But like a devil made of smoke, he disappeared again. Some claim he lives quietly under a new name in Louisiana. Others say he runs an underground network that still moves meth across borders. But one truth remains. Wherever there's fear in the club world, Taterhead's shadow isn't far behind. He wasn't just an enforcer. He was the enforcer, the kind of man who defined what it meant to rule with violence, and how that violence always comes back for you in the end. 10 men, 10 roads, 10 stories written in fire and gasoline. They lived fast, they bled hard, and they left behind an unspoken truth. That brotherhood isn't about crime or territory or money. It's about loyalty. And loyalty, when pushed far enough, becomes its own kind of madness. These enforcers weren't just bikers. They were architects of fear, builders of brotherhood, philosophers of violence. Their names echo across highways and into history, not because they wanted fame, but because they couldn't escape the gravity of power. As the engines fade and the smoke clears, one question remains: what's the real price of loyalty when it costs you your soul? This has been Crime Cipher, where every legend leaves blood on the road, and every story reminds us, power always has a price.